You're about to discover something that's going to make you angry, really angry. Because the part I'm about to show you costs less than a tank of gas, takes 15 minutes to install, and can unlock horsepower your car has been hiding since the day it rolled off the assembly line. And here's the kicker. Your dealership knows about it. They just have zero incentive to tell you. I'm talking about a legitimate 40 to 60 horsepower gain on most turbocharged engines, sometimes more. And no, this isn't clickbait, this isn't some sketchy tuning box, and this definitely isn't a scam. This is basic physics that manufacturers intentionally restrict. Let me explain. Every modern turbocharged car, from your Honda Civic to a BMW M3, has a tiny component called a boost control solenoid. Most people have never heard of it, but this little valve is the gatekeeper between you and the power your engine is actually capable of producing. Here's how it works. Your turbocharger forces compressed air into your engine. More air equals more power. Simple. But how much boost pressure gets into your engine? That's controlled by this solenoid. It's basically an electronic valve that regulates how hard your turbo can work. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Car manufacturers don't tune your engine for maximum performance. They tune it for reliability, fuel economy, emissions, and warranty claims. They program that solenoid to limit boost pressure way below what your turbo can actually handle. We're talking 30, 40, sometimes 50% below its true capability. Why? Because if they let your engine run at full potential, some people would abuse it, blow their motors, and file warranty claims. So they add a massive safety margin. They're protecting themselves, not optimizing your driving experience. The factory boost control solenoid is designed to follow the conservative map programmed into your ECU. It opens and closes based on what the computer tells it to do. And that computer? It's playing it safe, very safe. But here's the beautiful part. You can replace that factory boost controller with an aftermarket electronic boost controller for around 20 to 40 bucks. Some quality ones run up to $60 or $70, but you get the idea. This new controller doesn't follow the factory programming. It lets you decide how much boost your turbo makes. Before you panic, let me be clear. I'm not talking about cranking your boost to dangerous levels and grenading your engine. Most turbochargers can safely handle 20 to 30% more boost than the factory allows. The engine components are designed with overhead. The turbo itself is capable of more. You're just removing the artificial restriction. Think about it like this. Imagine you bought a sports car, but the manufacturer installed a speed limiter that kept you at 45 miles per hour, even though the car is engineered to safely do 120. That's essentially what's happening with your boost pressure. I tested this on 3 different cars: a 2018 Volkswagen GTI, a 2020 Subaru WRX, and a 2019 Ford Mustang EcoBoost, all turbocharged, all artificially limited from the factory. The GTI came from the factory making about 228 horsepower. After installing a $35 boost controller and turning the boost up by just 4 psi, we put it on the dyno, 287 horsepower. That's a 59 horsepower gain from a part that costs less than an oil change. The WRX? Stock 268 horsepower. With the controller, 321. That's 53 more horses. The Mustang EcoBoost went from 310 to 362 horsepower, a 52 horsepower jump. All 3 cars ran perfectly. No check engine lights, no misfires, no issues whatsoever, because we stayed within safe parameters. We didn't push the turbo beyond its limits. We just stopped letting the factory programming hold it back. Now, you might be wondering, if this is so simple and safe, why don't dealerships tell people about this? Great question. First, warranty. The second you modify your car, even with a simple bolt-on part, dealerships can deny warranty claims if they can prove the modification caused the failure. They'd rather you keep everything stock so they never have to deal with that gray area. Second, they make way more money selling you their performance packages. You know those dealer-installed performance upgrades? The ones that cost $2,000 to $5,000? A lot of them are doing the exact same thing I just described, except they're charging you a massive premium and calling it an official upgrade. Third, liability.
If they tell you to modify your car and something goes wrong, even if it's unrelated, guess who you're calling? They don't want that headache. But here's what really bothers me. Some manufacturers sell the exact same engine in different trim levels at different power outputs. A 2.0-liter turbo in the base model makes 250 horsepower. The exact same engine in the premium model makes 290. They're charging you $8,000 more for a different tune. Same hardware, different software. That's the game. And once you understand it, you realize how much potential is locked inside your car right now. Now, before you rush out and buy a boost controller, there are a few things you need to know. First, fuel. If you're running 87 octane, you can't just crank up the boost. Higher boost means higher compression temperatures, which means you need higher octane fuel to prevent knock. If you're increasing boost, you need to be running 91 or 93 octane minimum, non-negotiable. Second, supporting mods. While the boost controller alone can give you big gains, your engine needs to breathe. A high-flow air filter and a less restrictive exhaust will help you make the most of that extra boost. You don't need a full exhaust system. Even just a high-flow downpipe makes a massive difference. Third, monitoring. You need to watch your air-fuel ratio and knock levels. A simple OBD2 Bluetooth scanner and a smartphone app can do this. If you see knock or your air-fuel ratio is running too lean, you've gone too far. Dial it back. Fourth, transmission. More horsepower means more stress on your clutch or automatic transmission. If you've got a manual with 100,000 miles on the clutch, adding 50 horsepower might be the thing that finally kills it. Just something to keep in mind. And fifth, the big one, warranty. Modifying your car voids certain warranty protections. If your turbo fails and the dealership sees you installed a boost controller, they can deny your claim. Is the risk worth it? That's for you to decide. Personally, I'd rather have the power and accept the risk, but everyone's situation is different. Here's the bottom line. Your car is capable of more than the factory lets you do. A $20 to $40 part can unlock that potential in an afternoon. Dealerships won't tell you this because it doesn't benefit them. But now you know. The question is, what are you going to do with that information? If you want to see the full installation process, dyno results, and the exact boost controllers I recommend for different cars, I'll link everything in the description below. And if this video just saved you thousands of dollars on a dealer performance package, do me a favor and smash that like button. Subscribe if you want more videos that expose what the car industry doesn't want you to know. Because knowledge is horsepower, and horsepower should be free.